SEGA.
Hey everyone, this is Prince Brightstar and welcome back to Phantasy Star Online 2. So, Episode 4 has finally launched, and I did finally manage to get my main character into the game without seeing too much of what was in the initial story scenes here. So, I'm glad that I was able to avoid that, and so that I have not spoiled myself here. Now, from what I understand, Finn actually has a new client order for us here. And it is called a Summoner Summons. So let's go ahead and accept this client order. And that... not certain who that is. But that's actually going to lead us over here to Pietro. And what this guy does is he is basically the trainer for the Summoner class. And he just gave us a couple of things here. He gave us, first, a weapon called a Tact. And this is basically the most basic weapon that the Summoner uses here. From what I understand, it's the only weapon that they use currently, so because of that, it may be more based on the pets that are available for the class, rather than you doing the typical upgrades that you would do with a regular weapon here. But let's go ahead and turn in that client order with... Actually, before we do that, let's go ahead and head over to the class counter here. And let's actually change our class now into the Summoner. And along with that, I'm also going to change my subclass to Techer. Okay, so as you can see, we're level 1 with a Summoner right now here. Let's go ahead and talk to a Finn. And let's turn that in. That brings us up to level 2. And now Pietro, essentially, is who we're going to be talking to for the rest of the client orders here. So for the first client order, he's asking us to defeat 20 of any enemy. And this is basically what the new pet interface looks like here. So currently I don't have a pet set up here. And so that's why it looks like this here. Let me go into the menu, and let me go into my items. And so this right here, this is basically one of the pets here. This is called a Wanda pet. So let's go ahead and use it. Now, I'm not going to go with that name. I'm actually going to change the name, and I think you'll understand why in just a moment here. I'm actually going to call this Meow. And let's go ahead and confirm this. And so now we have our Meow pet. So, and as you can see, we've got menu items such as Egg Synthesis, Candy Box, all of which we'll get to shortly here. Let's go ahead and equip our Tact at this point. And with that, let's go ahead and equip Meow as well. And then let's go ahead and put on the different photon arts for Meow here. So Wanda Slicer, Wanda Break, and Wanda Assault. And so now if I shift over to that weapon, here is our pet Meow. Now why would I name this pet Meow when it's called a Wanda? The reason for that is this particular pet is actually a huge throwback to the original Phantasy Star. This is what Meow looks like in that game. The only difference is the coloring of its wings and the horns, essentially, but everything else is spot on. And so that's why I decided to go with that name. I want to kind of respect the history of the series here. And as you can see, this guy basically kind of just follows us, or rather, kind of leads us a little bit wherever we're going here. So, with that done, let's go ahead and take on a mission here. And as you can see, we've unlocked the following quest: Special Mission Tokyo Silver. Okay, so, Tokyo. Yes, it's pretty obvious at this point. Episode 4 takes place on Earth. At this point, the anime's been running for 3 episodes, and even before that, Phantasy Star Online 2 On Stage, the play that SEGA put out a couple of years ago, everything had been leading to this. I had basically known this was going to be happening for quite a while, that we were going to Earth. It was just a question of how are we going to get there? And what was going to be the big evil that was going to lead us there. And basically, Phantasy Star Online 2 On Stage essentially showed us. And this is a little spoilery, but I don't know when I'm ever going to get another opportunity to talk about this here. But Phantasy Star Online 2 On Stage, that was basically a play that SEGA put on, and it kind of went over essentially what would happen if a reverse .hack happened, essentially. And if you don't remember .hack, that was a game whereby people were getting sucked inside the game and put into comas. What happened in Phantasy Star Online 2 On Stage is instead the game characters started leaping out of the game and into the real world, essentially. And as part of that, Darkfall's Elder actually ended up on Earth for a short period of time. And it was my theory that essentially what was going to happen here was, we don't see it on stage, but there is a period of time whereby we don't see Darkfall's Elder on stage, and yet he's still on Earth. What could he do in that short amount of time? A lot. Think about it. You're an evil entity, and you want to basically corrupt whatever you can. So why not leave a piece of yourself behind? I think that's essentially what's led us here. So let me stop talking here. Let me continue on with this here. And let's go under Featured Quest, and as you can see, we have Tokyo Exploration available to us here. So let's go ahead and start this up on normal. And we've got a bunch of client orders available here, so let's grab those as well. And into the camp ship we go. For this one, let's grab a shift to drink EX. And let's head on down. And it looks like we got some enemies coming up right here. Brown bears. So the control here seems pretty simple for this little guy here. So I'm just doing some basic attacks, but he's doing some decent damage with that. Let's go ahead and try out some of the photon arts. Okay, that seems to make him do kind of a double slash attack. Oh, he's actually taking some damage there. Let me heal him up. And I don't know if you can hear that there or not, but there's actually lyrics in this music. What SEGA has just done is a complete revolution in terms of music in video games. They've actually made music with lyrics work with sympathy, which once again is the music system in the game. And that basically means you can have music now that plays endlessly in a constantly changing music track, and actually have it have lyrics now. You couldn't do this before. This is a complete revolution that I think we're going to be seeing a lot more in gaming in the future. Anyway, let's check out the other two photon arts here. So, looks like this one does kind of like a little spin AoE attack, and then this one, okay, that basically just sends me out in a frontal charge. Now I see this here. I'm wondering what this is here. Whoa. Okay, it seems to send me out in a really fast run. That's actually a really nice idea in terms of allowing you to kind of get around in the city here. All right. Oh wow, that did a lot of damage there. I guess you can end your run with a big attack then. Well, this is interesting. So this guy is also based on Meow. So since we're about to go into the Phantasy Star Let's Play, I'm not really going to give you any hints in terms of what that actually means. But just know that it's something that will be plot specific. Okay, what do we have here? A Zeshrada! Okay, and as you can see there, the dodge that I can do is based on what a force can do as well. And that's kind of why I've loaded up my sub-palette with all these different techniques down at the bottom. Alright, can we say Timber Tube? Yes, we can! Oh, looks like the Zestra is starting to spin up there. So this class definitely does seem to be kind of range-focused. Just by the fact that you can send your pet out like that. Alright, let me actually pull it back here. Because it's taking a lot of damage. Alright, Zeshrada's starting to spin again. Let me try to cast Shift and D-Band on it. Let's see what that does for it. Still seems to be taking a lot of damage. Alright, let me see if I can pull it back. Yeah, so I'm able to dodge out of the way of those attacks, but Meow can't. So I just gotta be as careful as I can here with him. Okay, so that finishes off the Zeshrada, and we just leveled up to level 4. Okay, and it looks like it just dropped a piece of candy here. Now, candy is, from what I understand, how you can actually boost the stats for your pets. So let's go into the pet menu here, and into the candy box, and let's add it, and let's edit the candy box. Now, I'm not exactly certain what this is actually going to do for us, though. It doesn't seem to give it a stat boost. And the fact that it's dealing with photon points, that may not be for this pet, actually. So I'm just going to hang on to it for the time being. Anyway, let's hit this speed boost. And it looks like we need to head to the southwest now. That's actually a pretty nice idea, showing you where the next group of targets are. Okay, so here we've got what looks like a rat. Actually, it's called a rat fummet. So... actually, it's a whole group of them here. And they basically turn into hedgehogs there. Now, one thing I am noticing are those kind of light bluish spots. And you can even see it on the brown bear here, too. Near its feet. So I'm kind of wondering what's causing that to happen, if that's actually Darkfall's influence that's causing that, or if it's something else. These enemies are apparently called phantoms, but since I really don't know what's going on in the story, I can't exactly explain what's actually causing all this. Nor should I. This is basically just a preview of what's to come once we get to episode 4. Looks like we're taking on some crow fummets here. Okay, looks like the next target is actually behind us here. Oh wow, we got a T-Rex here. Yeah, this is not our Earth, that's for certain. Whoa! Let's see if we can send you back to the Ice Age. Oh hey, that's nice. My pet's able to operate independent of me. At least to some degree. So while it's attacking, I can also use some techniques as well. That's a big building. Alright, looks like we're taking on some, what's called a Dosu zombie here. Yeah, I was kind of expecting we were probably going to see some of that on Earth. My response to that is kind of indifferent regarding to the whole zombie thing, but like I said, I don't know what's going on, what caused this in the first place, so I'm not going to judge it this time. Okay, it looks like that finishes off that group. Okay, let's make our way over to the south now. Looks like another pair of T-Rex here. Oh, and a polar bear. I'm curious what that's doing in Tokyo. Whoa! What happened to that bear's face? What the? So that's what's going on. All these... it's like they've got extra attacks or something. I think Meow just went down, actually. Alright, let's see if we can clear these out. Well, let me heal up first, actually. Alright, let me pop my Photon Blast. And let me get rid of this shock here. Okay, Meow's back up. So it looks like it auto-revives after a certain period of time. Okay, what's happening here? What are these? Oh, I think those were keeping my timer up. Alright, let's take out these zombies here. Alright, down they go. And let's make our way out of here quickly. Oh, I'm headed the wrong way. Yeah, take a quick look at my timer over there. It's actually keeping the time up. Okay, it looks like that was a bulldozer there. Alright, doesn't look like I'm gonna make it in time, though, for this. Okay, but we just reached level 5.
Failed.
It doesn't surprise me that that just happened, given my level compared to everything else. But anyway, let's move on to the next section here. Here we got some more rat famuts. Echo, what are you doing here?
Emergency. Code. Attack.
Alright, that seemed like some kind of crystal just dropped there. Alright, let's move on. Okay, it looks like we're headed to the south for the next point. Let's heal up Meow here. And here we got some crow famuts. It seems like this charging attack does the most damage. Okay, we're headed to the north. Oh hey, it's a Rappy! Now, Rappy's being here, all things considered, makes sense. Both they, as well as Niao, are able to essentially transcend time and space, at least according to the lore of the game, so I'm just gonna roll with it. And, well, let's be frank, they're kinda chickens. What do we got? What? Train? It's a Hydra! Made of trains! Train Ghidorah! Okay, that's new. And I don't think you'll be able to suplex this one. For those of you that might be thinking of a certain other game. Ooh, nice body slam. Let's see if I can help out with some techniques. What's that point right there? It seemed like a weak spot there, because it made it flinch. Alright, Meow, get back here. Alright, looks like we brought it down. Getting some good hits on it. Not the button I was going for. What's he doing? Oh boy, it's sending out trains. Ah! And it looks like that just knocked out Meow there, so I'm gonna have to face this guy myself for the time being. Oh, nice hit. Let's see if we can give it a good kick. Yeah, that really didn't do that much damage. Alright, Meow's back up. Nice punch there again. Haha, brought you to the ground. Alright, let's try to pull Meow out again. And down goes the train Ghidorah.
Completed.
Okay, let's see what it dropped. Just a bunch of Meseta. But that did bring us up to level 6. Alright, looks like the next target is to the west. Why can't I control myself? Oh, I have to... Okay, I have to auto-run in order to actually do that. Okay. I must have just been doing it by accident before. Here we got more Crofamuts as well as T-Rex. Oh, it looked like that one was boosted in some way. Alright, another T-Rex to take down. And it looks like we're headed back for that big building again. And here we got a snake helicopter? Okay. A good kick took it down. Looks like we also got some crow fummets as well. And a brown bear. Okay, we're headed back to the south. Alright, down goes the bear, leaving just the crows. Ah, there was a bear from behind. It's like that bear's face split in 3. I've seen something like that before from Parasite Eve, actually. Now what's going on?
Emergency code chase.
Alright, so it looks like we gotta chase down whatever these things on the map are. Let's see if we can intercept this one. Okay, I claim no responsibility for that collateral damage. Ah! Alright, that one is coming back down here again. There we go. And let's speed up again. Unfortunately, that one is all the way across the map. Which way is it gonna go? This way. And that takes care of the last one. Alright, looks like we got more of those. Oh, this is a different kind of zombie here. Still, it is a zombie. Oh, wow. Looks like those are able to lift up the ground there. I wonder who's even driving them. More of them are coming down. Let me pop my photon blast.
Emergency code attack.
Alright, looks like my photon blast took out at least one of them. And it looks like that clears up this mission.
Completed.
So let's go ahead and head back up to the camp ship. And let's head on out to the Ark ship. So, with the client order complete, let's go ahead and talk to Pietro again. And let's turn that in. Oh hey, you can actually skip through that a little bit now on that animation. Let's see. Synthesize an egg from the main menu. Okay. Okay, so this is saying... It looks like this is going to go over the... Oh, here we go. So yeah, this is going to go over how to grow your pet, it looks like. Huh. Did I miss something? Okay, Okay, so this is actually talking about egg synthesis. So it looks like what I've got to do is I've got to find an egg. And so what I'll do is I'll bring you back in once I get one, and then we'll continue with this. Okay, we're back, and so I now do have the egg that we need here, so this is called an experience egg, apparently, here, so let's go ahead and use this on Meow. And it looks like that just leveled it up to level 4. And with that, let's go ahead and talk to Pietro again. And now we're level 9. Okay, now this is going to go over using the candy box. And so it looks like what we've got to do is we just need to drop things into there. So let's go ahead and add candy. And... yeah, it doesn't look like this one does anything either, so I think this is the one that we were just given. And it looks like what this little candy does is it actually boosts the health of the pet here. So let's go ahead and drop that on. And then let's confirm it. And so now our pet has 437 HP instead of 427. Okay, let's go ahead and turn in this client order now. And we've just reached level 10. And now, this is talking about candy compression. So what we need to do is we need to go over to the pet lab. And it looks like that is over in the shopping area. So let's go ahead and head up to there now. There it is. Okay, it doesn't look like these menus have been translated yet here, so I'm just going to kind of click through them here. And it looks like by using grinders, you can change the size of different candies. And since you have a limited amount of space on the candy board, that would actually make sense to do that when you can. So it's actually very much like doing grinding with weapons as well there, it looks like, because it also added a +1 to it. Okay, let's talk to Pietro one more time. Okay. And with that, we just reached level 11. And it looks like that's it for the tutorial on the Summoner class here. So, now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring you back in a moment here. Over the past few months, I've been collecting a number of experience tickets as well as client orders with the expectation that I would turn them all in today. And so when you see me in a moment, you're going to see how much I've actually managed to boost my level. And what we'll try after that is taking on one more quest. Okay, that's 264 15,000 experience tickets. And now for the client orders. And so in the span of just a few minutes here, I am now level 52. So, let's go ahead and talk to Annalise here. And we're going to check out one more quest here today. And that is the special mission Tokyo Silver. Into the camp ship we go. Okay, so as you can see here, in this mission, the gate is currently down, and the only way to activate it is basically you need to collect a special item that you get from completing featured quests each day. And as this mission is limited, I'm actually going to pop a bunch of boosters here. And along with that, I'm also going to grab a Shift to Drink Premium as well. So with all that, let's go ahead and get this started. And as you can see, we are back on Earth. It looks like Meow's already taken a lot of damage there. Let's try to heal it up. And let's also try to help it out a little bit. A bunch of those zombies here. It looks like they're all going down pretty easily, actually. Here we got more bears, birds, and rats. More of those zombies. Easily taken out. Oh, wow, that's a tank. Alright, I'm gonna pop my Photon Blast for that one. Looks like it was a good thing I did that, because Meow also just went down. Oh, wow, there was another behind me. And we got... Wait a minute. Snake Helicopter? Okay, I'm not certain what's up with that name, but... apparently the military is after us as well. Or at least the military equipment is. Alright, Meow's back up. Alright. And here we got a Tagami Kazuchi. Okay, this guy is actually really powerful. As you can see, it just took out Meow in just one hit. He's the equivalent of a mid-boss, but he's also extremely rare to come across. So as you can see, most techniques actually don't do much damage to him. So I've actually got to wait for Meow to get back up here. There we go. Why is there so little damage happening to it? Alright, Meow is back down again. Supposedly it's weak to dark attacks. There we go. Now it's starting to take some damage. And down it goes! And as you can see with that, we received about 300,000 experience there, so it's always a good idea to take it out if you can. Alright, let's see what we got. A bunch of rare items, it looks like. All the same. And then over here, looks like we got a bunch of just different kinds of weapons and such. Okay, so that is going to conclude this little preview of Episode 4. Thank you for joining me today. This is Prince Brightstar signing off. I'll catch you next time.